Let's prevent from movement jump collisions. What's up, skydiver? Today we'll talk about an extremely important topic, movement and angle jumps. Movement jumps became very popular all around the world, and we see lots of beginner skydivers going straight to angle jumps after getting permission to jump in groups, but without the necessary awareness to join this kind of jump. What I mean by that is that there are some extremely important basic rules and some dangerous stuff that might happen on movement jumps that you are supposed to know. And of course, a minimum necessary skill you need to have to join this kind of jump without representing a threat to yourself and to others. Usually people don't know what they don't know, and we assure you we do what we do also for this purpose, to show, especially to less experienced skydivers, what might happen when we take wrong decisions. We have already produced and posted a long video about how to approach a skydiving formation, and although movement jumps have specific characteristics and safety rules, most of the information presented on that video are also applied to movement jumps, so don't hesitate to check it out. Anyway, as usually on our Scary Moments series, we'll do some case study. Actually, we will analyze and comment two different videos that present very similar situations. On the first video, we see a group of skydivers, some of them who had never jumped together before, performing an angle jump. At a certain point, one of them, who had recently started practicing backtracking, decides to perform a non-briefed belly-to-back transition, and as we see, he loses control and ends up on his belly, but flying in the opposite direction of the formation. Maybe you have seen or been to a similar situation before, and we are not here to judge people. The same way aeronautical incidents and accidents investigations don't exist to find the guilty, but instead to understand the causes and prevent future occurrences. So the point here is to clarify that belly-to-back and back-to-belly transitions in movement jumps are very technical movements that demand dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of jumps to be mastered. It's not just turning from one orientation to the other, what is already not simple. You need to keep the speed, the angle, and the position while you do it. Don't underestimate the potential of a bad executed transition to cause serious problems, especially when there are more than two people in the jump. If there were out-level flyers approaching the formation, for example, they could have been hit. Let's watch the second video where a very similar incident happens. Okay, now I know you got the message and you really understand what could have happened on the first video. So let's avoid this kind of situation by just not throwing tricks we don't have control on doing in the middle of a group jump, especially a movement jump. There's a proper way to learn and master those tricks, so talk to an experienced free flight coach, give some trust to the people that dedicate their lives on improving their skills and knowledge to properly teach and train skydivers, and I'm sure he or she will guide you to success. From our side, we advise you to focus on mastering the belly tracking first, then backtracking, then you'll start to put some angle in the jump until you are solid flying on your belly and your back in any angle. So then you'll be ready to practice belly-to-back transitions, what, again, we advise you to do in two-way jumps with a good free flight coach until you feel comfortable and mostly safe to perform it in group jumps without representing a threat to yourself and to others. So the jump continues and the leader also performs a belly-to-back transition. This one was better, but I have the impression he sinks a little bit and loses some speed during the movement. So by this time the camera was already far ahead and above the leader because they were flying different speeds. There were also two other skydivers a little bit late and far away to the right, as we may see in the corner of the screen. So when the jump gets to its break-off altitude, as there wasn't a proper formation flying together, but instead a group moving forward in different speeds and positions, three of them almost collide. Check it out. Theoretically, the classic break-off of a movement jump should be something like you see in this picture. Or maybe in this one. What I mean is that the leader should keep its heading and bring smoothly the angle to a flat track seconds before the break-off, so everybody has enough power and the right orientation to do long separation tracks that need to be performed, pay attention, at the same time by the whole group and in the right direction for each skydiver. So everybody must fly the right radius of separation. Listen, the break-off in movement jumps is a key point. Nobody in a movement jump should ever turn 180 degrees during a break-off. Actually, nobody should ever turn more than 90 degrees in a movement jump during the break-off, and this will only happen if there are 2 or 3 people in the jump. If there are 2 people, then both will progressively turn 90 degrees. If there are 3 people, then the leader will keep a straight heading while the other 2 skydivers progressively perform 90-degree turns. And why 90-degree turns? because this is the maximum turn amplitude without flying against the flight line. As I said before, there might be people behind still approaching. In jumps with 4 or more people, you can divide 180 degrees by the number of flyers of the formation, and that will be the angle of separation between each skydiver's heading during the breakoff. What will obviously be done by approximation, but it's true this account provides the leader and the group a better overview of the breakoff that sometimes might be executed in different layers or altitudes if the jump is too big. So when there are 4 or more people in the jump, the distance between each skydiver's radius of separation will get each time smaller, what will demand a very efficient track and a sufficient distance between the breakoff and the deployment altitudes to allow people to get the proper distance from each other before opening the parachute. The USPA general recommendation for jumps with 4 or less people is that we take 1,500 feet between the breakoff and the highest deployment altitude. For jumps with 5 or more people, the Skydiver's Information Manual tells us we should take 2,000 feet between these two altitudes. And to avoid problems related to crowded airspace, the general recommendation is to limit movement jumps to 2 per load. In a few words, don't overestimate your capacity to do the same stuff you saw some other skydiver much more experienced than you doing. Also, never underestimate the risks of uncontrolled tricks. Be patient and grateful for each small step towards your objectives, and most of all, enjoy and respect the process. And don't hesitate to count on the support of good professionals. We are always available, waiting to help and to guide you to your goals. Hope this video helps. Thanks for watching, and until next time.